Hey everybody, I'm Joe from My Lightroom is a Mess, and let's learn Photoshop. Today we're going to talk about removal. The way that most people get into Photoshop is just through wanting to remove stuff. Maybe they've played around in Lightroom Classic and they found that they can do quite a bit of the editing they think that they want to do initially. However, the removal tools aren't as good and they keep hearing that Photoshop removal is just better. And that is the gateway into Photoshop. Well, I want to show you the correct way to remove objects in Photoshop. There is most definitely a right way and a wrong way, so let's get into it. To understand the concepts behind why we do removal in the way that we do it, we need to understand non-destructive editing. Non-destructive editing is the concept and the approach to editing that says that at any point down the line, I can go back and reverse something I have previously done. Now, I talked about this a little bit when we discussed adjustments, but when we want to apply an adjustment to this image, for instance, let us say I want to apply a curves adjustment. Well, if I have an adjustment layer, then all of the edits are the properties of that layer. And I can do anything that I want, but at any point in the future, if I wanted to change what I did, I could come back to that layer, open up its properties, and I could get rid of any of my previous work. That is non-linear, in other words, I don't have to do it in a specific order, non-destructive editing. At any point in the future, I can go back and change something that I did. Well, when I come to the idea of removal, for instance, removing the jesses here from this bald eagle, in that situation, we might think we know how to remove. We have the cursor tools over here, and one of them is going to be the remove tool. And I can take that and perhaps I can run it over the just there, and I can commit to it, and it will attempt to remove the object. But there's a problem. It did remove it, and in this instance, I think it removed it just fine. No issues. But you'll notice that this happened at the background layer. And how might I get rid of that removal in the future if I want to? It's not as simple as just hitting Command or Control Z or going back to the history and going back a step. Because if this is baked into the actual layer, then doing an undo forces me to undo everything I did after that removal. So I need to realize I don't like it right away or I'm stuck with it. Well, that doesn't really work. We need a better system. So here's what we're going to do. Removal happens by generating new pixels and placing them on top of the pixels on a pixel layer. Therefore, we see the new pixels, not the ones from the original layer. Well, there's no reason those new pixels need to be on the same layer as the regular pixels. They can be on an empty layer. Lots of ways to do this. You could come up to Layer, New, and then Layer. That's the same thing as Command or Control plus Shift plus N, or you could just hit the plus sign at the bottom right of the right panel, and we get an empty layer. There's nothing here. If I want to only see this layer, I hold Alt or Option and click on the eyeball, and it's all that I see, which is nothingness. There's nothing here. However, it is a real layer, and we can do anything we want with it. We're going to do the same removal, but we're going to do so on an empty layer. So, grab my removal tool, and if you're removing multiple things within an image, and you're going to do multiple brush strokes, you might want to have remove after each stroke turned off. If you're working with just a singular object, it'll be a little bit faster to leave it on. One thing you need to make sure is that you have sample all layers checked, because it needs to sample pixels from the layer underneath the empty layer, because we are working on the new empty layer, but we're sampling the pixels below it. And now I can just come in and I can brush over this. You'll notice with a removal brush tool that there is no feathering in it, and that's because it actually tries to find the edges of objects, so no feathering is necessary in the brush. That's not the way that it works with other things. And I can hit the check mark. So now I've done a removal, but where are these new pixels that I'm looking at? Well, if I only look at this layer, they are here. And I might look at those and go, I like them, or I could say, maybe I don't. For instance, if I think this one here wasn't very good, I could grab the eraser cursor tool and I could erase these pixels. And doing so allows me to see through this layer to the one below it. And now I could try to remove again in case I thought that going a second time might produce a different result. At any point, I can simply do a new removal. For instance, I'm not in love with the way that that generated part of the foot there, or I could live with it. I could come back at any point. I could erase these pixels and try again. No big deal. So when you're doing a removal, we want to operate on an empty layer. And in fact, we know that that really is the case because of some of the auto removal tools that have been added in recent editions of Photoshop. This is a good moment for me to take a little pause and mention that if you want to learn Photoshop in and out, I will be teaching a 3-part Essentials of Photoshop class with Jax and Delaware Camera in February. Over the course of 3 Thursdays, February 5th, February 12th, and February 19th, I'm going to teach Essentials of Photoshop. You can sign up on their website. I'll put a link in the description. It's also at the bottom here. We're going to go over just everything you need to know to really get into and start using Photoshop. So I really hope to see you in the classroom. For instance, let us say we're going to work with a generative removal. Let's take a look at how this is done. Easy way to remove larger size objects or even smaller pieces very subtly. To do this in the easiest way, we need the contextual taskbar. There are 2 ways to get to this. We can right-click outside of the image and show the contextual taskbar, or we can come up to Window, Contextual Taskbar. And this is something that you probably have seen when you've launched Photoshop. This contextual taskbar gives you buttons and options to do common edits, and it changes based on where an image is at in your processing or what layer you've selected. In other words, it gives you tasks that are based around the context of what you're doing. So it is a contextual task bar. We're going to leave this up at the moment because right now it says select subject, remove background, and adjust colors. Edits that we'll get into in other videos. What I want to actually do is remove just a larger object. We're going to go ahead and remove, let us say, this rock here. I'm going to grab any selection tool and I'm just going to select it like so. As soon as I have a selection active, Photoshop says, would you like to remove the object? Right? Which is going to just take it out with a generative fill. Generative fill gets you to the same place. I'll show you how. Removal would work just great. Click on it to do a removal. If I come to generative fill, I could type in anything I wanted in place of it, such as a giraffe or UFO. If you leave this blank and hit generate, then it does the same thing. It does a generative removal. But notice the way that this happens when we do a generative removal. It puts the new pixels onto a new layer critically so that you can get rid of them, so that you can alter them if you want to, and they're not baked into the image. In other words, it's saying this is how we do removal, at least going forward in Photoshop on new layers. We get 3 different options for how we want this to look. I'll go with option 2, and that looks pretty good. So this is the generated pixels, and they're simply sitting on top of the background layer. I can have other edits above, which are going to affect the generated pixels and the image below so that they can be edited together. It's important to point out that not every new process in Photoshop for removal actually creates a new layer. We still use the old process. For instance, we're going to leave this image behind, and we're going to come here to this image that I shot on vacation several years ago. For this, I will not need the contextual taskbar, so I can just right-click outside of the image, hide contextual taskbar. And what I want to do is get rid of these people. There's a lot of people in the frame. I'd like to see if I can remove them. Let's do this in the easiest way possible. We need a new empty layer, just the plus sign. And with this layer selected, I'm going to grab the removal tool, and that gives me at the top find distractions. Two types of distractions: wires and cables, which is not a problem here, and people. Well, I'm going to click people. And here it finds all of these people to get rid of. And I can say, yeah, I'd like to get rid of all of these people. Please hit the check mark to actually remove. And pretty good, we are done. We might come in and clean up some small things that are a little bit weird, such as this area right here with a remove, or take a look at this area here and see if we wanted to change that. But those are pretty easy to do just with going over with a removal brush again, or perhaps highlighting those regions and using contextual taskbar to just generative fill. And we have a pretty wonderful image without all of the distractions in it. So those are the essential methods that we use to do removal in Photoshop. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.